Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Fel Arias, and today we are going to be doing a bit of analysis work on the animatics I've chosen for my playlist for Epic the Musical, the concept album. And these are specifically animatics I've chosen to add to a playlist that's specifically to share with people who I don't think will want to watch more than one animatic per song. So this is basically an epic movie at this point in a playlist for people to go and reference. And I tried to feature quite a few artists as well as like different styles and different takes on stuff. Highlighted a few of my favorites. Some of these were so hard to decide. Like, y'all have no idea how hard it was to decide which animatics to go with for some of these songs. Anyway, the reason I chose Murchys for this saga, which is the Cyclops saga, is because of their Cyclops design. For those of you who have not seen Murchys' Cyclops design, highly recommend it. It is outstanding. It's so different and unique and eldritch horror-y. Absolutely love it. Again, that's one of the reasons why I ended up choosing Murchys' Polyphemus and Survive videos. It was really a toss-up between Murchys and Ximena's Polyphemus. Because I enjoy Ximena's because it's hilarious. The expressions, some of the background comedy, highly recommend it. I cannot recommend it enough. And again, one of the reasons why I chose Murchys' Survive animatic is there are some nitpick problems I have with it. It's still gorgeous, a fantastic job. Everything that I'm nitpicking is personal opinion and has nothing to do with the actual, like, talent or style or song or anything like that. They are just personal nitpicks. And I apologize if any of them upset anybody. Like, you don't have to agree with me. It's perfectly okay. Anyway, again, I picked Murchys' Survive so that way we have a consistent style throughout, a consistent Cyclops style throughout most of the Cyclops saga. That's Saga. So, again, Murchys' Cyclops, Murchys' Polyphemus. So good. Let's get started. I still don't know why they'd go in shooting. That still confused me. I love the little winging on Polites' shoulder. I can't believe this cave has all this. For those of you who remembered what I said about Eurylochus being a Debbie Downer and, you know, someone who only has negative news, this is the single time where he doesn't have a bad thing to say. For us to keep, I've gotta hand it to you both. This is quite the treat. There are enough sheep here to feed the entire fleet. His positivity and hope never go further. This is where all hope and cheer and everything die for Eurylochus. Honestly, I thought all of that died during the war. But then he showed a little bit here. So, good for you. I'm sorry that you're wrong. And I'm sorry that only Odysseus starts to find this a little sus. It's almost too perfect, too good to be true. Why would the Lotus Eaters pass up on all this food? Another thing I like about Murchys is the Cyclops comes in through the entrance. It's not just in the background, like deeper into the cave. We actually see it crawl in. And by it, I mean Polyphemus. You can already tell this design is like eldritch horror. It's so good. I'm gonna say it's so good so many times. Also, Murchie has some of the best, like, consistent sizing between Polyphemus and the humans. Amazing job, Murchie.
Hey there!
Gotta love the horse hooves.
We're just travelers. We come in peace.
Yeah, he came shooting. And again, this is I don't know if this was intentionally what Murchie was doing during Warrior of the Mind, but we've got Odysseus again shoving his friends out of the way to safety and being the one that gets grabbed. And we get a little peek of the stalactites. I do want to go back a little bit. This transition, again, these are just teeny tiny nitpicks. I get we want to have a solid view on Odysseus and make it look like he's still staying perfectly upright. But how the background and everything we've seen so far and everything going forward is the exact same background as this, and it doesn't turn as he does, it is a little off-putting and confusing. Again, minor nitpick. And again, you draw hands amazing. I love the way the fingers look, the articulation and everything. But he's holding Odysseus like this. Well, I guess it's this hand. This is the view we're getting. Like, if I'm Polyphemus, in the back of the hand. Again, I find this more amusing than nitpicky, but again, keeping the 3D environment is very hard. It's very difficult. But just, again, let's go back. There we go. As you can see, we see he's grabbing him with this hand and holding him up. Yeah, because I'm facing my screen, so it's probably the opposite for all of you, but holding him up.
Now you become my meal, a trade you see, take from you like you took from me.
And then we see the back of Polyphemus's hand of the opposite hand, because we get the knuckles on that side. Like, the only reason I noticed this was because I've seen this animatic so many times because I love this animatic. So, just so you know, I still love it. I just find this a little amusing. And I also love the Lotus Eater. Yep, and the hands back to how it's supposed to be. And I love how Odysseus has the Cyclops' eye reflected in his own eye, and how we're going to get foreshadowing of the fact that Odysseus is a piece of shit. Just the smirk right here and that narrowing of his eyes. Even the way he looks at the Lotus Eater, you know, because of this expression. And again, amazing artistic choice here. We're seeing exactly what Odysseus is thinking. Because at the end of Murchie's version of Open Arms, the Lotus Eaters were actually taking wineskins to the 600 men. So all of these wineskins are actually the wineskins that the Lotus Eaters gave them. So this Odysseus knows he's lying. Odysseus knows that he's bullshitting right now. So he is betting on the fact that Lotus wine is going to fuck Polyphemus up. He doesn't know if it's gonna work. But again, Odysseus is very quick to think on his feet. Doesn't always work out, but honestly, things would be worse if he didn't come up with any ideas. Now, should he get away with doing this? That is a completely different debate. Is he a shitty person for shooting the sheep? Yes, he is. Is he a shitty person for trying to steal from a stranger that he has no knowledge of? Also, yes. So he's a little bit trashier than he was at the start of Epic the Musical. He's like a couple steps up now. But again, love we can see exactly what he's thinking, what he's planning. So good.
Wine.
And then we get this predatory smile. This is not a kind smile with the canines and the sharp teeth highlighted. Well, I guess they're not highlighted, but they're prominent in the picture. And it's an up-close picture of Odysseus's mouth and nothing else. So this is Odysseus is being charming. Odysseus is rolling his charisma saving throw. He's rolling persuasion. I guess in this case it would be deception. And the eye follows the wineskin. And the little minion is still like super distressed. Now, my concern is, why weren't these guys already fucking running? There's no reason why they should still be in this cave. Unless something was blocking the entrance. I mean, Eurylochus and Polites, I can see them staying to try to make sure Odysseus gets out of this. I mean, they also might be trying to not startle the Cyclops, I guess. But that is a hit or miss, like, kind of decision. They also do need this food. So Eurylochus is probably going like, we need to do my idea, we need to ransack this place and kill this guy and leave.
Then we shall be on our way. No bloodshed in here today.
Except you already killed the sheep.
You see, gift from
Just Murchie, you do such an amazing job at just these images. They're just gorgeous. And I'm pausing it here because all of you should appreciate this. Just the perspective of looking up at Odysseus and his eyes like little glowing dots. And even the Lotus Eater is trying to hide behind him now.
you.
He does not look like a good person because he's not a good person. Surprise! And I love how Polites is like, oh, okay. Maybe open arms worked this time. Maybe we're good. Maybe we can GTFO. And Eurylochus is like, ah, Odysseus did it again.
I'd like to thank you. Stranger, what's your name?
My name.
And here's the most famous line of the Odyssey. I'm pretty sure even those of you who know absolutely nothing about the Odyssey have at least heard a story about something like this. Even if it wasn't specifically this scenario, you've heard this story somewhere.
Is nobody,
And just the focus on those words and the devil horns made by the minions. By the minion.
For your gift, I've one to reply.
I'm so glad we see eye to eye.
Again, I want to highlight once more the scale. Murchie, you do an amazing job keeping Polyphemus fucking terrifying.
Yes,
And then we get the little thumbs up.
you shall be the final man to die.
I do want to highlight there seem to be a lot of people who have been confused about what that line means. I want to come out and specifically say if he was going to be the only man to die, the lyrics would have said only man to die. None of the other men have died yet. Not a single one of Odysseus's men have died as of yet. Final implies there's more than one. I'm not sure how that was confusing for people, but a lot of people have been confused by it. Once again, only and final could be interchangeable dialogue if only is what he meant. And I just mean lyrical wise. Like, it's not exchangeable logically, but if he wanted to mean only, he could have used only. Final specifically implies more than one. And considering final implies last, that means everyone's going to die first, and then you. So the lyrical choices are very specific right there. Again, I don't know. I've seen multiple people confused by that, and I don't know why.
What? Watch out!
Okay, and here we go into Survive. One thing I do have to say about Survive is the Polyphemus is just screaming in the background and everything. And then we get time to have a motivational speech. If Polyphemus had them locked in the cave, this would make sense. If they were waiting to attack him, and Polyphemus wasn't incredibly determined to fight them, it would make a lot more sense. But considering they could have gotten out of Dodge already, Polyphemus probably would have already started murdering them. A little speech right here makes little to no sense. It's a great speech and it is necessary, but I'm just not sure how grounded it is. Even like by rules of cool, MacGuffin, all that sort of fun stuff, it has a little bit of fallacy about it that stands out a little to my brain. Also, love this expression of polities. I've seen a lot of people confused about this expression. I don't even know fully what this expression might mean. Whether it's, oh, he's preparing to fight, or, oh, his open arms policy didn't work, so he's sad that Odysseus is going back to fighting. Considering, okay, I will say this is my biggest nitpick about Murchie's Survive video is how Polites is treated. Mainly, Polites is the soldier. No matter what sort of open arms bullshit he might have been spouting, no matter what he might have meant by it, pretty sure he doesn't want to die. Pretty sure he's gonna follow his king, his captain, his general, his superior, his best friend into battle and fight with him. The only way, personally, I take this image is he's getting serious and he's getting ready to fight. Later in the animatic, that is proven incorrect, and again, that is one of my main nitpicks is how Polites is treated in this animatic. Again, He is a Greek soldier. His best friend, all his friends, all of his comrades for the past 10 years need him to fight with them. He would fight with them. Oh, and the minion reaching out for Odysseus. And Polites trying to stop him. I do enjoy how it mirrors the baby with the Cyclops. Even though Odysseus knows he's bullshitting his men, this is a great chant. It is a great morale booster. It provides them with a lot of confidence and that drive to do what they need to do. So again, another gorgeous shot of perspective. Murchie, you are treating us so good. Like, your design choices are perfect. I love it. Oh, I forgot I need to re-click on the video. There we go. Even he is trying to listen to his own words and convince himself that what he says is real. Like, his eyes are glowing. He has this firm expression on his face. His hair is blowing back as he's rushing towards this battle. Again, why they didn't run? No fucking idea, but they needed to be here for the fight for the story of Epic the Musical, so they're here for the fight. Now, where the fuck is Polites? Guess what? He's just standing there. And then those pull back as he roars. Hell yeah. So much taken from Attack on Titan. It's a very good reference for fighting something enormous. And again, perspective, Murchie. Yes. Okay, so here's where rule of cool works. Logically, I know you can't fucking do that with swords. You cannot climb a cliff face, a rock wall. You cannot climb it with just 2 short swords. No. But this also highlights the single problem I have with this anime. Polites looking disgusted at his sword. I think people took open arms too literally. I think the actual writer also took it too literally as well. Like, alright. Again, I love the songs. I love absolutely everything about Epic. Could the lyrical choices have maybe been a little bit different? Possibly. Probably. But I still listen to these songs on repeat. These are only my opinions. But you do Polites so dirty here. Even if he has an open arms policy, again, he's a soldier. He is also a badass. He has somehow survived 10 years of war as a soldier. His king, his best friend, is fighting this monster to help save his life. He is not gonna pussy out. He is not gonna stand aside. He would not do something like this. If this is what happened in the live stream, I also have a problem with it there. I've not watched the live stream for these. Just the look of disgust at the sword. Is he suicidal? Sorry, glare in my glasses when I look over that way because that's where my light is. I'm pretty sure he's not suicidal. Does he want to do absolutely nothing and gain no honor by fighting besides his comrades? He probably also doesn't want that. Does he want to be regarded as a permanent coward for all of eternity and basically lose all respect of everybody he cares about? Probably not.
Up and fight for your
Throwing the sword away. And yet, for some reason, he's still in the front lines.
lives.
He's not fighting, but he's in the front lines. And this is a gorgeous scene. Again, Murchie, for my complaint about Polites, it honestly is just minor. Your shit is amazing. You've got so many just gorgeous scenes, like these upshots, like demonizing the men, because they are the bad guys in this scenario. They came into this guy's house to steal from him and killed one of his pets. They plan to steal everything from him and kill more of his pets. We are not. We are supposed to root for the bad guys in Epic the Musical, unfortunately. Because we want them to survive. And oh hey, this other thing's a monster, so it's automatically bad. That's one of the overall themes of Epic the Musical that it doesn't handle as well as I'd like. But again, I still love it, and I still, again, I'm watching this for probably the 20th, 25th time, and I will watch it way more. I have another person I'm watching all of these with as we speak, like, later tonight. So,
Push forward.
again, Attack on Titan. Hell yeah. Again, he's in the front lines. He has no weapon. He's not there to fight, yet he's there to support Odysseus? Mm, it doesn't fit. And again, he's just apparently standing there. Everyone else is running. We see them in motion. But Polites is just standing there, and then he looks up and he gets crushed. If he was going to be that big of a coward, he probably would have been pissing himself as he ran off to the ships. He probably wouldn't have been there anymore. Again, that is my singular actual complaint about this, is how Polites is treated. But I understand how and why he was treated this way based on the song Open Arms. So nobody come after me for that. I can understand why. Doesn't mean I have to like it.
Captain.
I also think it would be interesting for Polites to not be the first person to die, or if Polites got crushed pushing Odysseus out of the way. Mirror what happened with the boar in Warrior of the Mind. It was already really well set up. We could have mirrored that here. I think that would have worked amazingly. But again, personal opinions. I'm not actually a professional, but I think that would have impacted Odysseus far harder than just seeing Polites die, but knowing Polites died to save him. At the same time, Polyphemus did promise to kill Odysseus last, so I do see why we wouldn't be doing that. But maybe like one of the stalactites was falling or something? I don't know. Just trying to work out this. Maybe it could be Eurylochus that was about to get crushed that Polites saves, or another one of the crew. And this could lead up to why they say everything's changed since Polites. And that's one of the reasons why they all remember him so much, is he sacrificed himself to save someone else. That would be so gripping and like emotionally impactful. Anyways, again, Murchie. You're breaking my heart with these expressions because they are perfect. Just the loss, the hopelessness, the person that's been by Odysseus' side for these 10 years, who's been his best friend since he was a child, always supported him and had his back, is not going to be there anymore. It's not just that he lost one of his men, it's specifically that he lost Polites.
He's got a club.
And you capture that
He's got a club!
insanely well. And the blood splatter. So good.
Captain! Captain!
Just getting sick from trauma and yeah. And you just see all the mangled bodies. You see the environment start to change because of all the stalactites fall down, because of all the shaking and stuff caused in the cave. Eurylochus is trying to stop Odysseus from going forward towards Polites. This part I love. I'm going to be completely honest, this is one of my favorite parts of this animatic, is Odysseus rushing to hold Polites. Because he's so broken. Granted, how likely that is to have actually happened? Probably not. But I mean, a lot of Epic the Musical is just loosely inspired by the Odyssey. So I'm going to enjoy what I enjoy, and I enjoy this. Finally, the Lotus kicks in. He's a big guy. It takes a while. Okay, and now we're back to Wolfie the Witch with Remember Them. Let's see. I don't know how many people have animatics for Remember Them. I do know it is one of the songs that has very few animatics, though. Let's see. What's another one that has few animatics? Storm. I was only able to find 2 fully complete Storm animatics at the time of this recording. And I wanted to choose the one that has not been seen as many times to help get that artist out there. So that's the one I ended up going with. I also like the way they handled our harpoons a little bit better. But this right here, just him, I will hand it to Wolfie the Witch. Wolfie the Witch is one of the few animators and incredibly skilled people to have Polyphemus actually fall in front of the entrance, which is why they have to stab him in the eye and get him out of the way because they can't really lift him. I still don't see why they didn't just kill him and then carve a hole through his body. It would have been gross. But it would have made things easier. And it would have been less likely that he could kill you while blind or sink your ship, and it would be impossible for you to dox yourself if he was dead. Anyway, wonderful starting, just Polyphemus right there. We got the size comparison for this animatic. We already know who Odysseus' style in Wolfie's art because we saw him in Full Speed Ahead. So it's very easy to assume who this character is. And just blood splatter everywhere.
Captain! Captain! We must.
I also love that how Eurylochus is mostly faceless until we start to hear him coming through, until Odysseus finally starts to hear him, and then he's there. Again, I'm just highlighting like these little tricks and things I see that I really appreciate these animators doing.
Must move quickly. We don't have much time. He didn't notice I mixed lotus in his wine.
And he's still traumatized.
Mark my words now.
And again, Odysseus, he's the leader. He has to get morale up. He has to get these men to listen to him. They all just went through a lot of shit. They've been going through a lot of shit. He still needs them to listen to him and follow his commands. He still needs to be able to order them to do things, to be the competent king he is. It is by necessity that he cannot let himself stay broken in a way. Which is, again, one of the things that I think Polites in Open Arms was trying to get Odysseus to kind of open up about. And I might have been wrong, but that's my interpretation of the song because it makes more sense to me in that context. But another fun thing is a lot of animatics will only give very few crew members faces and actual like hair and any defining features. A lot of animatics just leave them mannequin style. And this, again, is very shorthand for these are not main characters. We have people, but they're not main characters. I think that's one of the reasons they use a lot of mannequins in The Amazing Digital Circus. I'm not 100% sure, but just changing the color on a model that's already rigged and everything is a lot easier than completely redesigning 100 or 1,000 different characters with just minor differences.
Gotta stab it in the eye.
Yes, sir. Remember them. When the
Very similar to the
fire
eyes
is
shown
raging,
in Full
we're
Speed Ahead.
falling and afraid. We are not to let them die in vain. Remember them. We're the ones who
Now, there
carry
is...
on the flames of
Oh,
those who
this part.
fought.
I
Our comrades will not.
have to talk about this part because this is something all the animatics, like, I'm not sure if all the animators got into a Skype call or a Discord call or something, but so many of the animators have taken this exact thing, this headband, and they've added it to Odysseus's overall design from this point forward. Whether he's wearing it as another headband like Gigi does, or he's wearing it as an armband, or otherwise, Odysseus ends up... A lot of animatics are taking from other animatics and getting inspiration from those other animatics so they can tell a complete story together. Do you realize how fucking amazing that is? Anyway, so yes, I'm geeking out about this because it's an insane detail that is just so good. And in Gigi's, when we get to the Underworld Saga, then Gigi does an excellent symbolism movement of the headband getting removed. Again, Gigi. That part of Monster is probably one of the reasons why I put Gigi's Monster on this playlist, as well as many others. But just the fact that we have overarching symbolism of Polites' connection to Odysseus throughout the animatics. So good.
No!
Sorry, I'm pausing on the grotesque, but pretty sure if I had a pencil and I dropped it on my eye, I would be fine if my eyelid was shut. It might sting or hurt a little bit. But I don't know. It just seems like it would have definitely taken a lot more effort to do. Like, I completely understand why this, like, rule of cool, it works. It does what it needs to do. But I think using it as a battering ram and running it, like them charging at the eye, holding onto it, might have been a little bit more compelling. If I ever make my own animatics, I will probably, to my own detriment, implement all these ideas I have. Because I came up with them, I should suffer the consequences. But just ideas. Again, like lots of the crew members, no faces, no details or anything. Very good, like action poses. You can still tell they're moving. Wonderful job, Wolfie.
There are more of them?
I love their oh shit faces.
Hide.
Don't go. I mean, that part is both really sad, but at the same time, still, him not recognizing that nobody likely wasn't a name. Again, this highlights just how clever Odysseus is and how his intentions have been bad since they arrived. Shooting the sheep first, drugging this guy, not giving him his actual name. Odysseus had zero plans to take any responsibility for any of his fuck ups, for any of his men's fuck ups, for anything they have done. Which, good for him. It's gonna come back, bite him in the ass. Because for being such a super smart boy, probably one of the smartest boys, he is also the dumbest boy. Which we will see at the end of the song. Which I believe all of us know what a bad idea it is.
Have you forgotten the lessons I taught
yes,
you?
Athena.
He's still a threat until he's dead. Finish it.
No.
I have to agree with Mad and Books on all of this. I have to agree with Mad and Peg because just like changing the lyrics a little bit would be great. But the only way this exchange and a lot of what's going to be happening in the following songs makes sense is if either Odysseus is hallucinating or if he's legitimately trying to delude himself. Like he is willingly, purposefully becoming delusional. Now, again, we started Epic the Musical at the Trojan Horse. We haven't seen everything Odysseus has been through. That doesn't change the fact that he is a captain, he is a king, he is a commander. He has seen so many men die. His own, he's killed people before. We started this with him dropping a baby off of a giant wall. Am I still going to listen to the song on repeat? Probably. Okay, it's not probably. The answer is yes. I already do that. It doesn't change the fact that I don't like this part. And also the fact that I don't like the context of my goodbye does not change the fact that it is a badass song and I love it. I just think it applies to a different series better than it applies to this one.
Don't! Hey, Cyclops! When we met, I led with
Dumbest
peace,
boy.
while
No, you didn't.
fed-
Again. He shot and killed one of the Cyclops' pets, a sheep that was in a cave, which likely had things in it other than sheep, because somebody was living there. This is something Odysseus should have probably recognized as weird before he killed the sheep. But again, we needed this to happen in order for Epic Story to go. And it also makes sense that Odysseus would be egotistical enough that he'd be like, oh, it's a sheep. Pew. Could he have killed the sheep outside and Polyphemus have herded them all inside the cave and then blocked the entrance? That would have possibly been more likely. Just ideas. But again, the animators for all of these are working with what they have, and again, they are outstanding. Go follow them. I'll make sure to have links to them in the descriptions below. You can check out my playlist of all the animatics I plan on going through for this this analysis and review. It's just Odysseus, sweetheart. Why do you gotta be a dumb boy? Why you gotta be the dumbest smart boy ever? Ugh. He's even dumber in the actual story. That he's dumber and smarter in the actual story. And he pretty smart, he pretty dumb here.
Your inner beast, but my comrades will not die in vain. Remember them the next time that you dare. Choose not to spare. Remember.
Dude, you killed his pet and you rolled up in his home trying to steal his shit. He didn't need to spare any of y'all. Okay?
Remember them. Remember us. Remember me. I'm the reigning king of Ithaca.
Here's my address.
I am neither man nor mythical.
Here's me going to claim that I am a god? He's claiming he's not a man and he's not mythical. So he's got to be something. And he's implying something there. He could just be trying to be fancy about it. But he is definitely trying to impart a threat, if you will, onto Polyphemus in this moment. Which, again, Odysseus, my boy, you are such a trash fire. So that's why we love him.
I am your darkest foe.
And that line comes back. It's so good. Again, I'm gonna say so good so many
I
times.
am the infamous Odysseus!
And here's my social security card, credit card number, my full name, and I prefer calls in the evening. You also have my email address and my phone number. Did I need to do all that? No. Absolutely not. And it's really amusing because all of us outside of the story, it's amusing because all of us know what a bad idea this is. Even if you don't know what happens, it's fucking obvious how bad of an idea this is. Especially when he said his name was Nobody. Right there in the story, it implied names are powerful, that they are important. So Odysseus, in his egotistical ways, decided, oh, hey, I am so goddamn cocky right now. I know this Cyclops is not going to be able to hurt me anymore, so I'm going to go on this righteous rant. Oh. And then his life is like all of his men's lives. They're all ruined. Like, his life is shit for the next 10 years. And, well, his men's lives are only shit for 3 of those. So I guess his men get out of it better than he does in a way? Oh, mm-mm. Honey. Odysseus. Anyways, we got one more song, and again, it is one of the best songs. Story-wise, no, but musical-wise, like, even lyrical-wise, if we do not relate it to the Odyssey, it is an outstanding song, and I have listened to it probably 30 or more times. Not even kidding. I often sing it, like, by myself in my car. It it is one of those that gets stuck in my head like Dangerous, and Ruthlessness, and Get in the Water, and so many songs. Again, I adore this musical so much, and I adore the animators and the animatics. No matter whatever gripes or, like, nitpicks I have, I am so happy and so glad you've all decided to bless us with this. Thank you. And we're going to watch Wolfie the Witch's My Goodbye. I do love that Wolfie the Witch adds in that smile at the end there. Very foreshadowing. Okay, My Goodbye. Ooh.
You are reckless, sentimental at best.
Yeah. I know I'm pausing right after the first line. But again, my interpretation of this is she's not saying that Odysseus was sentimental towards Polyphemus, but was being sentimental towards Polites. Reckless towards Polyphemus, yes, but she's recognizing even if it wasn't his recklessness towards the Cyclops, my interpretation is she's recognizing it as this bad influence that Polites was in Odysseus's life, and he's holding on to that influence because Polites passed away, and that's his sentimentality. So he doesn't have any actual sentiment of his own. He's trying to play it off in an act of sorts to help him cope with the death of Polites. That is how I'm interpreting it. But to each their own. I've had a very long time to think about this and to make it work in my brain.
That's not a teaching of mine. You've grown soft. Your dead friends can attest. Hey,
Yep.
put your emotions aside. You're a warrior, meant to lead the rest. I don't know where I went wrong.
I don't know where you went wrong either.
And you failed the test. So now I'm gone.
Okay, so again, I'm pausing again. One of the things that apparently happens in the Odyssey that they've covered in some of our discussions in Mad's Patreon chat on Discord has, by the way, if you want all the dirt on the Odyssey and all the good stuff on Greek mythology, go support Mad, okay? Again, I will put a link somewhere in the description or somewhere. Like, I'm not sponsored or anything. I just think they're really cool. But Athena, honey, this is a song where I think Odysseus is really stepping into trying to imagine what's happening. Because he needs to figure out why all this bad stuff is happening to him, and he's going to go the way mortals go. He's going to blame the gods. And what better god to blame than his mentor? So this is either To me, this is like a dream sequence or something where Odysseus believes that Athena is leaving him. Because he thinks that she is disappointed. Like, that's not going to change. But this is his subconscious in Athena's form, basically saying, hey, you fucked up. And Odysseus fighting back against it, even though he knows it's right. This is step one in him pedaling down denial. So, again, I imagine what I may to make this make sense, because damn, this is a good song. I will have a video later with animatics for this song. I think one animatic specifically that is to a different fandom where this song makes more sense. At least to me, it makes more sense. Even if some of the lyrical choices aren't 100% on there, the tone of the song and the implications of the song are a lot more prominent in that series. At least they're more implied. Anyways, back to the show.
This way, you'll know what your place is. This way, you can't cross the line. This way.
Again, he was claiming he was neither man or mythical. He was claiming he's something he wasn't.
This way, you won't disappoint me. This way, you won't waste my time.
I mean, he's already
This
disappointed
way.
her.
That's just like you. Why should I be surprised? Selfish and prideful and vain.
Again, this is one of the reasons I specifically think this is Odysseus imagining this happening. Selfish, prideful, and vain. That describes exactly what happened at the end of Remember Them. Exactly what happened. So he is bringing up what just momentarily happened ago, but projecting it onto an image of Athena. And you'll find that a lot of what he says about Athena really doesn't make sense about Athena, but if we compare it to him and take it as him projecting, it makes a lot more sense.
Unlike you, every time someone dies, I'm left to deal with the strain. What's a title that a goddess could lend? If I'll never sleep at night, I'll remind you I saw you as a friend.
Again, I know lots of other people have mentioned this. Athena very specifically said, you were not going, well, she said, we'll see where it goes. She has not specifically called you a friend. Ever. Unless it was in a cut song, which it might have been. I know there's a lot of cut songs out there, which I want to go through this and get these videos done first. And I hope those cut songs make all of this stuff make more sense. Anyway.
But now we're done this way. You're out of my head now this way. You won't plague my life this way. When all is done, you're out of sight and out of mind this way.
And I just remembered the thought that I lost track of earlier. So in the actual Odyssey, I learned about this again from Mad's Patreon Discord, and also from Mad's video on Epic reviewing these songs, that Athena never left Odysseus. She always knew he was going to get home, and she tells him as much when he reaches this island somewhere. And he asks, why did she leave him? Why this? Why that? That is another, like, backup, I guess, towards my interpretation of this song, that this is all in Odysseus's head and him projecting. And this is why he thinks Athena left him. Because he was a shit and he realizes he does not deserve her anymore. but he couldn't accept the fact that that's the conclusion he came to. And this following right here is going to be premium projection on Odysseus's part. Because let's consider the fact that everything he's basically done in the war, although it's been fantastic ideas, it's been very smart and everything, most of it is war crimes and considered dishonorable. He is sly, yes, but that was not a valued trait. A lot of his planning and everything is not something that's going to be told fondly in most cases. So, like, yes, they won, and it's going to be, and it will be attributed to him. And they'll be like, yeah, he did this. And they're not going to mention the fact that Odysseus has been suggesting said thing for years, and they just said no until they were desperate. But again, the following lines make absolutely no sense when regards to Athena. But if they're Odysseus's actual deep fears, they make so much more sense. If he's projecting, it is so understandable.
At least I know what I'm fighting for while you're fighting to be known. Since you claim you're so much wiser, why's your life spent all alone? You're alone!
He doesn't have his best friend. He doesn't have his wife. He doesn't have Telemachus' baby. Eurylochus is always bringing him bad news, and he really doesn't want to associate with Eurylochus anymore. He basically puts up with him as family and professional courtesy at this point. None of that would make sense for him to actually spout at Athena. It would make more sense if he was spouting it at himself. And it's kind of like his guilt manifesting.
One day you'll hear what I'm saying. One day you might
Like, this one part of him is still hopeful that he's worthy, but and I love the spirits, I love the baby. Wolfie, again, amazing job. Just that look over the shoulder. And Murchie also does an amazing My Goodbye video, but it doesn't feel right. It's gorgeous and well animated, and how it's done, if it was not connected to actual Greek mythology at all, if it was just these two people arguing back and forth and one of them happened to be a god, it would work. And again, I love like Murchie's Athena design and all of that fun stuff. But one of the reasons I chose Wolfie's was because of just that we've already gotten the Warrior of the Mind theme. So this is something we know was in Odysseus's head. But do we actually know if that was really Athena? Now, I know that's probably not how Jorge means to do it. I know that's probably not the intended to be taken away from this. But lyrical-wise and story-wise, it would make more sense if this was projection and a delusion that Odysseus came up with to convince himself he lost his goddess's favor. Anyways, so that is the Cyclops saga, and I hope that you will continue watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe down below. Again, I'm going to be putting links to all of these artists and everything in the links below. Let's see, is there anything I'm missing to say? I'm still getting used to this YouTube thing. I don't believe so. Anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.